We're excited to bring you a first look at Finestra Pro version 3. The first biggest difference with version 3 is that we address detailed Revit models now. Previous versions of Finestra Pro we looked purely at the conceptual mass model, and we've started to move into the world of detailed Revit models. This first video is really going to be about successful modeling for using Finestra Pro. We want to obviously start using Finestra Pro as soon as possible within the modeling phase. We are an early stage analysis tool, so we really want to get in there fast. And this video is just a quick look at what needs to happen within the detailed model to be able to use Finestra Pro successfully. And what I've done is I've done this fairly quickly, just a U-shaped building, and let's look at the plan. The most important thing really is that we've got rooms to work with. Finestra Pro uses the rooms to base its analysis model. So every room needs to be there, and if a room is missing, Finestra Pro is not going to pick up those surfaces for analysis. So what I've done is really I've just created two rooms, one room per level. And just I suppose a little tip or a little advice, if possible, if you can model up the walls, floors and roofs first, so basically all the physical elements first. We've got the wall, we've got two floors, we've got a roof. If that can be modeled before the room is placed, there's a little, I guess, something interesting about Revit is that if you place the room last, things like this roof, it picks up the underside of the roof nicely. If you do the room first, it goes up to the roof level, and you might get a warning saying that the roof, there's no roof to the model, even though there is a roof. So my advice is to model first, and once you're really ready to use Finestra Pro, go through and place the rooms. One of the other things to look at, if at all possible, is to basically to model a shell and core of the building, to not get into too much detail with rooms. As I said, this model has really just got two rooms, one per floor. And I guess, yeah, if you can see it as a shell and core, you can set up a circulation zone or something like that. Really, that's going to be fine. But if this building is divided up into offices or whatever you want to put in here, the more offices, it just slows everything down. And you don't, yeah, it just kind of makes the model unresponsive. I suppose it's the same as a normal Revit model. The bigger the model is, the less responsive it gets, the faster machine you need to have to run it. One of the other things just to think about when using Finestra Pro is that potentially this model or this building could be part of a building complex, a complex of other buildings. And the best case or the best use for Finestra Pro is pretty much the same as Revit's best practice, is to use linked models. So basically this building would become one model, and then when you start modeling the complex up, you would introduce this model as a link within the complex model. To use Finestra Pro to pick up shading of surrounding buildings and all that kind of thing, what I would suggest is to within the base model, so if we were looking at this building, to model its surrounding buildings as conceptual masses. So basically I would pick up all the neighboring buildings and just model a quick conceptual mass to mimic the shape and form of its neighbor, and then Finestra Pro will pick that up and calculate the shading from those conceptual masses. So you get accurate analysis, but you don't have to sacrifice performance for that. That's all I wanted to cover for this video, and we'll do some more and start looking at using Finestra Pro and working through this model with it.